Welcome to History in the Hand Metal Detecting. I'm Steve. We're here in north central Pennsylvania, and today we're going to be searching the lawn of this old 1800s homestead. And it's my first time here. We got permission to dig around the lawn, so we're going to see what we can find. Come on along, you're invited, and let's see if we can get some history to hold right in our hand. Well, we have found our first lamp part. This would have held the globe of a lamp. There were holes all along here, and the glass globe would have fit down on there and gone up, and inside here would have been where the wick came up. Lots of very small little pieces of it left here, but very fragile. I'd say pretty darn old, but it's just look how fragile it is. We've got history, and we're holding it right in our hand. I'm very interested to see what we find here on this property. All right, on to the next. Another high tone. Very fragile. Wow. Not exactly certain what that might have been. It's not ferrous. It doesn't stick to the magnet on my trowel at all. It appears to be pewter by the crumbly appearance of it. Your guess is as good as mine. Mystery items are part of it. On to the next. Do you see what I see? I see something that looks like jewelry. That looks like either an earring or part of a necklace. Very interesting indeed. I will clean this up and we'll see if we can spot any writing. It's always interesting to find something pretty like this. That's really nice. Well, I'd say we've got a coin spill, because there is a dime, 1970 something dime, and then that's Mr. Lincoln. So that's of interest. Let's see if there's anything else in here. Got just a screaming signal here that oh, there it is. Ha! Well, we have found ourselves another, boys and girls. So here's the story they tell. This knife was lost because the blades are still in. You can see where the little thumb groove was right there, so that this could be brought out. The blades are still in. Normally when we find them, one is broken off and turned back in, the other is out and broken off, and it's thrown away. So this would have been dropped. So that is very interesting. We'll add that to the collection. Another jackknife. It's just a little bit beyond sharpening. All right, on to the next. Cool find. It's a modern penny. It's from the 60s. All right. I'm from the 60s, and I'm glad I'm on the top side of the dirt. Love it. On to the next. So this belongs to the property owner. So she'll be glad to get this back. I wonder if she can tell us a story about this. Okay. That is part of the smallest crescent wrench I have ever seen in my life. Looks like whatever they got a hold of was a little stronger than the wrench. Oh, that's cool. Made in Hong Kong. It's possible that this is made out of that strange alloy Chinesium. Well, we wrenched it out of the ground, didn't we? Cool beans. All right, that goes in the interesting things container. That's just great. I see something red. Is it rubies? It shines like rubies. It's possible that this is a reflector. Yeah, I think that's what it is. On to the next. So this helps us identify targets. They actually stamped it aluminum. So, of course, that was a big deal back when they were getting away from steel cans that you had to open with one of the can openers. So, big deal. Aluminum. Screaming high tone of 80. Your guess is just as good as mine. Non-ferrous, whatever it is. Another mystery item. Another Lincoln penny. Ringing up hot. It's not uncommon to just find pennies in lawns where I'm going to donate that stone to the stone row. I always like to do my part. Yeah, in lawns like this, a lot of times they've already been detected and guys just left the pennies. On to the next. Well, I see coal ashes, but there is a screaming signal right in here, so who knows what we may find. There it is. That looks like a door plate, but it's brass. And that's why it gave us such a screaming signal. All right, in this plug, our signal is over here. My gosh, would you just look at that? I think that is a zinkin. All right, on to the next.
Hey, thanks for joining me on this beautiful October autumn hunt. If you haven't already, would you consider subscribing? That way we can do more hunts together. I've got some great footage squirreled away to reveal this winter, including 4 different hunts at an 1800s logging camp brothel. So I look forward to having you with me in the future. Let's get back to this hunt.
Modern quarter. Well, no wonder we're getting such a crazy high signal. That looks like it might have been the top of a fuel cap or something. It had something on top. And then there's iron inside here. It almost looks like it was copper. Again, no idea. All we know is that it was history. And also that it rang up like a quarter. The only thing I've ever dug that rang up the same or as high as this, 97 on the Simplex, was a pocket watch. So, not really sure exactly what this is. I'm thinking this was like some sort of chromed toilet escutcheon or something. I don't know. But anyhow, it made it to the backyard. And it is no longer in the backyard. On to the next. All right, we have ourselves a fired bullet. You can always tell if a bullet has been fired or not because at least on the modern rounds like this one is, with that knurling around the outside, that crimping right there. But you can always see the grooves that are slightly angled from the lands and the grooves of the rifling of the barrel. I have found these before quite a few times. We've got ourselves a brass garden hose nozzle. Solid brass. So that's nifty. We could probably clean that up, put a new gasket in there, and it would function just fine. And probably significantly better than a lot of the crap you can buy right now. Well, got a thin, deep Indian head penny. Oh no. Indian head penny signal, but this is what we got instead. A trapper's tag. All right, on to the next. So a trapper's tag is an identification that needs to be attached legally to each leg hold trap, so that people know who the trap was set by, for identification. So that's what that was. 1964 penny. Another copper-coated lead bullet. Okay. Got ourselves a nickel. You know, nickels kind of hide in a VDI range that is so full of junk, you know, aluminum foil and pull tabs and just all sorts of stuff. So you never know. You just don't know what you're going to get. As I suspected, copper-coated lead bullet. Another clad quarter comes up from the earth. Ooh. Tiny little old buckle. That is really delicate. That's really neat. Thought maybe that would just be another brass bullet shell, but instead it's a tiny little D buckle. That's really cool, and you can see where the tongue went across, and that was made out of iron. You can still see the rust. History in the hand. All right, on to the next. Down below, you can see 3 apple trees in a row. Most homesteads like this one had an orchard associated with them, so I'm only assuming that this is what's left of the old one. It would have been bigger than this, and there could be some more over here and over there, but it's neat. You can still see a little bit of history left, even though these orchards, the trees end up dying, but there's 3 definitely in a row right there. Kind of curious. We'll keep snooping around, see what we can find. I found a big old chunk of melted lead that poured down into the dirt. It's kind of interesting what cool little patterns you wind up finding. Well, I'm not exactly sure what I've got here, but it sounded like a it sounded like a quarter, but this is the door handle off of an old car. Oh my gosh, look at that. That would be an interior door handle off of an old, who knows, Some old Plymouth or a Buick or something like that. Look at that thing. Well, I think I see green. I wonder if it was an exterior door. Wow. Well, it's an old one, that's for sure. Love finding that old stuff. Hey, I'm running out of time. Gonna have to head back to work, but in just a second we'll spread stuff out. That kind of caps things off for interesting. All right. What a curious day. You never have a boring dig. You just don't know what you're gonna get. I think that's what Forrest Gump's mama said. You never know what you're gonna get. But let's see if we can take a look at what we found. We got it laid out right here on the table. First of all, we've got 380 auto bullets and shells. Here's our mystery pewter object. Found a bike reflector, and this held a globe on a lamp. Found a cool little brass D buckle and a trapper's tag. Some mystery items here, liquor thing, some sort of a finial. This was some sort of a cap. I don't know what that was for. Here was our early aluminum beaver tail. This, I don't know what it is. It's aluminum, so I have a feeling it had to be something maybe electronic. Bunch of pennies, dime, nickel, 2 clad quarters. Here's a cool metal jackknife. Some copper wire, brass garden hose nozzle. This beautiful door handle off of an old vehicle. Here's the world's smallest crescent wrench. This actually belonged to the owner, and so I was able to find that in the front yard. She'll take that back. I'll leave it for her. And even though that's her name, this is not how she spells it. So there was a Terry here who had an ID bracelet. So that's kind of cool. Well, it was an interesting hunt today, and I'm glad you joined me for this long. I didn't find the type of... I thought we would find more items that were older, but the soil here, things went down very deep. I was finding modern pennies at like 8 inches down, so I think the old stuff might have just gone way down. There's a lot of moisture in the soil and it stayed soft, so I think the stuff went deep. Anyhow, I'm just here to remind you that if you're not looking for it, you're not going to find it, and you're invited to join us right here after you subscribe, of course, on History in the Hand.